about what you know, would you have done anything differently from the moment you were drafted until?
I don't think so. I think I had time, obviously, as a rookie that, it was very difficult for me to come in here and even looking back to training camp, just going through a training camp, the OTAs, and the time that we did have, it takes reps and seeing the stuff that these coaches and everyone talks about. It takes seeing it and feeling it once you're actually out there to really have it stick in your head. And you can hear things time and time again, but until you really experience and feel it, it doesn't really stick as much as it would just being told it. So, I don't feel like I would have done anything different.
What kind of recovery process are you looking at right now?
Yeah, obviously I don't have a timetable, but it's enough to keep me out this week. But my main focus now, obviously for me, is my season's over. Get ready. You don't want to look ahead because we always have a game left, and we want to come out and as a team get this win to finish 8-8. But at the same time, my focus now is kind of get ready for the offseason, get ready to come back into OTAs, make sure I'm healthy for that, and going into the next year. It's going to be obviously, depending on how things play out, I want to be the guy here, and I think it's my job, and I want to take it that way and take it seriously every single day, and come in here throughout this, however long this timetable is going to be for me, and get healthy first and foremost, and then from there, don't lose a step and make sure I'm sharp throughout the entirety of the off season.
Do you think you have something to prove to people this offseason? A lot of people are expecting you to be the guy you've always been and prepare the right way. Do you think you have something to prove to people still?
The main thing is I'm not the guy that I've always been. I'm not the Johnny Manziel that came in here a year ago and was talking to you guys when I first got here, and I felt like I hardly know y'all. But it's a lot different now. Obviously for me, it's been a year of growing up for me. This is a job for me now. I have to take this a lot more seriously than maybe I did at the first. Still going home and doing whatever I was doing in the off season. Do I feel like that had a negative effect on me? No, I don't. But at the same time, I'm extremely committed to this, and I want what's best for this team and what's best for myself. And I think that moving forward this offseason, I just need to put in the time that I need to put in and make sure I'm staying sharp, because I want to give next year and the following years that I'm here, all I have to try and be as successful as possible.
What can you do from starting once the hamstring's over till OTA start to become a better quarterback?
I think just making sure I'm detailed on my drops, footwork, so whenever we come back, we can worry about, getting more on top of coverages and seeing stuff pre-snap and just, taking my game to the next level as far as a quarterback, but making sure I'm so sharp on all this other stuff, so whenever you come back, you don't have to worry about it and take a week to get your footwork right to where it was, get your mechanics back to right where they were, stay on top of your arms, stay on top of, taking care of my body, and then, when it comes back, really try and take your game to the next level as far as knowledge.
Will you stay here in the off-season?
I'll be here. I'm going to go back to Texas and be in California, quarterback coaches out there and trainers out there. I want to spend time with my family. It's obviously been, difficult trying to get them up here as much as possible. And, I still have a sister that's in college and stuff, and I want to be around her and spend as much time with my family as possible. But at the same time, I love this place, and this place has been really good to me as far as, the fans, everything. Cleveland has been different than I expected, and I really like it here. So throughout the playoff time of the Cavs and coming back and, trying to spend as much time around Maverick and LeBron and guys like that, and just, being in the city is something that I want to do. I want to be here. This is home for me, and hopefully will be home for me for a while. But at the same time, I'm still going to go back and be in Texas and be around, making sure I'm staying on top of my game.
Are you going to work with George again?
That your perception of fans have the wrong perception of you as far as your dedication to being here and not being a part of yours.
Sure, fans can have whatever perception they want. That's up to them. They can have their opinion, and I'm sure, for me, I haven't painted, the greatest picture of me, like being in here and staying on top of my stuff. I'm sure with the stuff that I've done off the field, it's negatively affected that, and what I know and what matters to me the most is that these guys in here in this locker room see that I'm in here working, and these coaches know that this is my life and this is my job, and I'm 100% committed to that. And that's what matters more than anything. And I think with time and through showing what I'm about and my actions of sticking to this and staying on top of this, that some of that stuff will drift away and fall away with a kid who was still had a college mindset a little bit. And that is absolutely faded from my mind. And now I think this year has really helped mold me into a pro and figure out how this league works and what it takes. So there was a lot of learning to do throughout this year, and I think it's for the better for me as a person and as a player.
With them having 2 first-round picks next year, do you get concerned that they're going to look at a Marcus Mariota, a Jameis Winston, and try to go in some of them?
I mean, I don't think it'd be fair to give up on somebody after seven quarters of football. I mean, if that's what they were in the business for and what they intended on me coming in here doing, just giving them 7 quarters, giving them a couple games, and then looking somewhere else. I don't feel like that's a lot of commitment in sticking with somebody. So this league is a process and it takes a lot of time. I mean, nobody comes in this league right away, and I mean nobody comes in this league right away and just absolutely kills it. It's just not the way it works. You can show signs, you can show flashes, but at the same time, you need reps, you need years of it, you need time, and I think that's what happens with a young quarterback. So, hopefully, I'm not going into this offseason, into this draft, having any concerns about that or any worries about that. I mean, if you want to, it's just something that I'm definitely not thinking about.
Do you worry though that small sample size they're talking about, not going the way you necessarily would want, has maybe created doubt in the front office or coaching staff about you?
No, because I know when I've been in this building that I've been doing the right things, and like I said, I got one game against Cincinnati. Obviously, it was a rough day for us, and then a quarter and a half last week, and then one and a half drives in Buffalo. So, if that's what they think is enough to evaluate a quarterback, then that's really up to them. But I'm going into this offseason, working extremely hard and wanting to be the guy next year. And if that's not the case, then obviously we'll see down the road. But that's my mindset going into it, and I'm 100% sticking with
Tony,
that.
you said that you've changed. Will we still see things like the money sign next year, or do you regret that at all?
No, I mean, I don't regret that. It's been a part of who I was in college, and I see me growing up and maturing moving forward. And if that's something that is just fun to do. When I'm out on the field, I'm not thinking about that. I'm not thinking about being an adult. I'm thinking about football is a kid's game that you've played since you're in a backyard when you're 8 years old. Still have fun. You can't suck all the fun out of this game. You got to still go out there and smile and be happy that you're getting a chance to play football at a professional level and you're getting paid to do it. So I'm going to go out there next year and smile and be laughing and running around just like I've been every single time I've ever gone on a football field. Let everything else worry about everything. Let everyone else and everything else worry about itself, take care of itself. For me, worry about what I can control, worry about what I can do to be a better teammate, be a better quarterback, and then when it comes down to Sundays next year, go out and have fun, play football, give it your best chance.
Do you feel like maybe you pressed a little bit because you didn't allow yourself to have more fun out there this last couple of games?
Looking back at it, there are times where I'm probably a little bit out of my element, a little bit trying to worry about the schemes and worry about what they're doing more than just going out there like I felt like I did against Buffalo and just, whatever happens, go out and let the football rip, throw it extremely hard, go out, be decisive, and just play football and have fun. I think there were times where I clouded my mind a little bit too much, and ultimately I'm sure that hurt me. I'm positive that hurt me.
So safe to say you're going to spend more time in Cleveland than the allotted mandatory.
I don't think there's any mandatory time that you have to spend here, but at the same time, I want to be here, and I want people to know that this is a place that I want to be, and that the city means a lot to me, obviously, and this team means a lot to me. I think coming back obviously backs up what I'm saying in that, and I want to be here, and that's what I'm going to do is be here.
Thanks, John.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks, John.